Friends, as you may have heard, the tariffs are back. President Trump called it the most beautiful word in English dictionary, and this time they're coming for your everyday needs. Recently, President Trump slapped a 10% tariff on a range of UK goods from cars to pharmaceuticals. This move is part of his broader trade war, where he's imposed tariffs on goods from around the world. China's been hit with a 145% tariff, while the EU and Japan are facing their own set of tariffs. It's a global trade war, and unfortunately the UK is now caught in the crossfire. The UK government, understandably, isn't thrilled. Prime Minister Starmer has stated that any future trade deal with the US must serve the UK's interests. Meanwhile, Chancellor Rachel Reeves has hinted at potential retaliatory measures. This could involve slapping tariffs on US products or targeting American digital services through taxes, a move that's been a point of contention in trade negotiations. One thing's for sure. This trade spat adds another layer of complexity to the UK's already complicated economic situation. With Brexit still looming large, the last thing the UK needs is a trade war with one of its biggest trading partners. The coming months will be crucial in determining whether this escalates into a full-blown trade war or whether cooler heads prevail. The immediate impact of these tariffs is likely to be felt most acutely in sectors like automotive and pharmaceuticals. These industries rely heavily on exports to the US, and the new tariffs will make their products more expensive for American consumers. This could lead to a drop in demand, which could in turn force companies to cut production and jobs. For example, the UK's automotive industry, already grappling with the uncertainties of Brexit, now faces the added burden of these tariffs. The US is a major market for British car manufacturers, and these tariffs could make their vehicles less competitive, potentially leading to factory closures and job losses. The pharmaceutical industry, another major player in the UK economy, is also bracing for impact. The US is a key market for UK-manufactured drugs, and the tariffs could drive up prices for American consumers, potentially affecting access to essential medicines. Despite the challenges, Chancellor Reeves has struck a surprisingly optimistic tone. She sees this trade spat as an opportunity to reposition the UK as a stable and attractive destination for foreign investment. Her argument is that in these turbulent times, businesses are looking for safe havens for their capital, and the UK, with a strong legal framework and skilled workforce, could be a prime candidate. She also emphasized the potential for attracting skilled labor. With the US becoming increasingly isolationist under the current administration, Reeves believes that the UK could attract talented individuals from around the world who are seeking a more welcoming and open environment. Reeves's optimism, however, has been met with a healthy dose of skepticism. Critics argue that her vision is overly optimistic and that the economic realities of a trade war with the US are likely to be far more damaging than she anticipates. They point to the potential job losses in key sectors, the uncertainty it creates for businesses, and the risk of a wider economic downturn. While the short-term outlook may seem bleak, some analysts believe that this trade spat could have some unexpected long-term benefits for the UK. They argue that this situation could push the UK to attract and diversify its trading partners, therefore reducing its reliance on the US. This could lead to stronger trade ties with other countries, particularly those in the European Union. The Trump tariffs could also accelerate the UK's transition to a more sustainable and technologically advanced economy. For instance, the government's recent £2.3 billion investment in electric cars and charging infrastructure could be seen as a step towards reducing the UK's dependence on fossil fuels and positioning itself as a leader in green technology. Furthermore, the current situation could strengthen the UK's hand in future trade negotiations with the US. By standing firm and demonstrating its willingness to retaliate, the UK could secure a more favorable deal in the long run. So what do you think? Does the UK stand to benefit in the current global economic situation? And finally, please consider to subscribe, like and drop your comment. See you soon.